This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids.
What up, everybody? This is your boy Black Magus, and it's been a while since I've done a regular video, just talking about a particular subject, so bear with me. But I wanted to talk to you guys about gaming journalism. Now, people who know me, gee, get your diction straight. Anyway, people who know me know how I feel about the current state of content creating. Typically speaking, I don't have that great of opinion of content creating overall, because I feel like the changes that have come and the things that have been adapted to kind of have spoiled it a bit. Because I guess it's like just about anything that becomes a profitable industry, or an industry that becomes very popular and profitable. There are certain things that are no longer adhere to certain, how can I say this, morality code, however you want to put it. There's certain standards tend to start to slip, because generally speaking, it's all about generating profit. It's about generating as much revenue as possible, and you know, certain integrity things can be ignored, shall we say. And this is what's happening to game journalism overall. The reason I bring up content creating is because I believe that content creators have a big influence on that whole realm as far as gaming journalism. And this came to mind because it's not me dogpiling on IGN. Personally, I stopped really paying attention to IGN beyond IGN UK and IGN Australia, because I find their podcast entertaining. But for the most part, IGN as a whole, I have not looked at as a serious bastion of gaming journalism. Part of the reason is because as gaming journalism has had to adjust due to content creating, where it's more so about making video content, doing these little featurettes and things like that, and not necessarily the journalistic aspects of it. Like, they still have writers, but if you look now, most of the writers are being pulled from people who aren't just lovers of games, but they're starting to bleed into the content creating pool, which, yeah, a lot of content creators who do gaming stuff, they do love games, but I feel like a lot of them take themselves away from their love of the game and adhere more to what could I do to make money or to get hits and things like that. Now, of course, if you're in journalism in any aspect, the main feature is going to be, of course, to make a profit for the company. But there seems to be more of a passionate lean towards people who consider themselves serious journalists. And this is from somebody who writes a lot. When you're a writer, you kind of have a certain, it's a weird thing to describe, but you kind of have a certain set of rules and just a certain level of passion that helps you try not to do some of the most sleaziest things. Again, of course, with journalism changing itself more to cater to the content creating YouTube type of vibe, that kind of slides away. So you had this situation at IGN where you had this writer who wrote a review for the game Dead Cells, and for the video review, he just basically stole footage from a content creator, thinking, well, this guy's not big enough for people to recognize, and I could just slip this in and use this stuff. Now, you've heard about this a lot on YouTube. People just kind of taking gameplay, things like that in the past. But now it's getting into the serious journalistic realm, where people are just taking other people's content and manipulating it to profit from, which is bad. But at the same time, it's the sign of the times, and it's a sign of the content creating genre. Anyway, it's a lot easier to just pull footage from something else and use it, and hope either it's not big enough to get recognized, or you can utilize like content usage laws that have been out there for a while. Try to like say, well, I can use this because, as a certain format, it's basically open to the general public for content use, things like that. But it also shows like the lack of work that you are starting to get too. That's the thing. It's one thing if you're someone who plays a lot of games and you like edit your game footage to look the best that it can. It's like, yeah, say what you want about people who do that or manufacture stuff. They're at least recording their content, and yes, the games are owned by the company, but it is material that they're creating, so it falls more under the content usage lines. But just to straight pull someone else's stuff, throw it up there and put your name on it is ridiculous. And it's not what journalism is all about. It's funny because when it comes to journalism, gaming journalism in particular, I tend to find myself not reading or caring much about what's put out there. I think Giant Bomb is the only company that overall I kind of digest a lot of their content because I guess they're veterans of the game. They kind of understand it better and they still kind of hold to their quote unquote morals on the subject, so to speak. It's like, yeah, a Giant Bomb has leaned more towards doing more video content, feature content, but they try to keep it as unique as possible, and they still do adhere to some of the like journalistic sensibilities when they do this. So it's more enjoyable. It's a more mature platform. Whereas now, just about anything can be called journalism when you think about it. Because again, content creating, YouTube, Twitch, all this stuff has become so big in our society. Fly by night Twitch commentate. I mean, not Twitch, but Twitter commentators. You can do a lot of journalistic, quote unquote, work on Twitch these days. Hell, I am guilty of that myself with some of my threads where I do like 5, 10, 15 piece threads to talk about a subject, which could easily have been a blog or an article, but I do it on Twitter because it's a quicker format to get it up and more visible. And that's the thing. Social media and the content creating thing leans more to just like getting things up as fast as possible. So research, study, stuff like that isn't treated as heavily as important because it's all about getting your content as soon as possible. And a lot of journalistic places are doing that. And that's what this guy did. I'm not saying that he's a bad guy, but it's clearly that he has the content creator mentality, being from YouTube and all that, stealing from another YouTube, where he's using the letter of the laws. The faster you get stuff up, the better. Doesn't matter how accurate or how I guess quote unquote legal is. The quicker you can get your content, the more views you can get, the more eyes you can get on it, the more ad revenue you can get, the more you can profit. That's the name of the game. That's why you see people jump out and buy these games on release day and make sure to stream on release day, so they can get first eyes on them. That's why you get these guys who put out these reviews of games so quickly, even if they haven't beat them, so they can get that content out to you as quickly as possible to challenge the major outlets that have had copies for days and stuff like that. It's like everybody's trying to get their foot in the door so they can get that piece of the pie. And the idea of like actually fleshing out, thinking, going over things is lost. It's like when we did our review on Wise Guy Gaming, Wise Guy Gaming Sports and Entertainment of what was it, God of War and Detroit Beyond Human. We waited till we all beat it, and some of us, like myself, took longer than others to beat it. It took about a week and a half longer than everybody else. But we all took at least a week and a half after release to beat it. Me 2.5 weeks, I guess. Sorry. But we waited until we actually played it out and got a full opinion. And we could have just came out and did a review. I could have did a review. I did an impressions video, but I would never call it a review because it's not a review. I don't know how the whole game's going to turn out because my review could have been way different than what my impressions was of the first few hours. So we try not to do that because we want to get the whole experience first. But some people, they just don't care. They just want the views, and that's the thing. So, it's harder when you have the try to lean more towards the more traditional way of doing things. But sadly, I could see the understandable part, especially if you're just doing this just to profit and the love isn't necessarily the drive. Fuck, why would you care to sit and wait and spend your time before you come up and do a review properly? That's why you see people, even when you think about it, some people beat games because they're just quick with them. Me, I'm methodical and slow. I play it and then I do it when I beat it. But some people try to rush through content just so they can get their reviews. It's like, yeah, the whole first to be viewed or read thing, especially in this quick social media age, it's kind of skewed gaming journalism and journalism as a whole. And it's kind of sad because it's nice when you see a well thought out, written, research piece now and then. Somebody who actually takes their time with whatever they're talking about and actually get like answers and things like that. Yeah, it's detrimental financially probably, but it's more appreciated in my opinion. You know what I mean? But that's just me. A lot of people don't really care. They just want to see what they want to see, show what they want to show, and get what they can get from doing so. So it is what it is. Anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.